Cannon here from Fiction Atlas Press, bringing you another Indie Connection. Today I'd like to tell you about some indie books that you might enjoy if you're a fan of Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by David Leviathan and Rachel Kahn. I love this book. I am really excited to bring you some indies that have some similar books to this.
The first book I have for you is called All I Want for Christmas is the Girl in Charge by Chelsea Bobalski. It's the holiday season in this young adult contemporary romance, and all Beckett Hawthorne wants is to make his way across the country and try to find some semblance of a life that looks nothing like his past, until he meets Evelyn Waverly. Evelyn Waverly, Christmas High's senior class president, volunteer at every Christmas charity drive, and basic overachiever, has a problem. She's co-directing and starring in her dream role as Elizabeth Bennet in her high school's production of A Pride and Prejudice Christmas. But Greg Bailey, the boy who's supposed to play Darcy, broke his leg. Enter Beckett Hawthorne, Aunt Bee's nephew, former child prodigy, and recent juvenile delinquent. Beckett has arrived in Christmas, Virginia to spend his community service hours working at his uncle's Christmas tree farm, as well as to get away from his heroin-addicted mother and abusive stepfather. Of course, Beckett doesn't have any interest in the role of Darcy either. But when he mistakenly mentions the play to his social worker, she presses him to do it. He agrees to play Darcy, not expecting Evelyn's joyful attitude about life and all things Christmas to melt the permafrost that has formed around his heart. Soon he finds himself imagining a very different kind of future, one that is filled with the sort of things he always thought were too good for him: hope, love, family. And he has Evelyn to thank for it. The second book I have for you is called Christmas as We Know It by Sarah Sutton. Christmas as I know it is blown away with the winter wind when my mom drops a bomb the size of the Rockefeller tree. We're going to Florida for winter break, aka the land of no snow. And since this is the last Christmas season of my high school career, my last chance to spend the holidays with my friends before we all go off to college, the news is anything but merry and bright. There is one silver lining, though. Bentley, the sweet and kind guy I've been crushing on for years, is in my volunteer group for the annual Winter Fest. And did I mention his love for Christmas just might rival my own? Even though I'll be missing out on the Winter Festival, being paired with Bentley almost makes it worth it. Until something happens with Jason, my best friend since elementary school. Something that may or may not involve an almost kiss. Jason's the opposite of jolly. The Grinch to my Mrs. Claus, and though every year I have to drag him along for the Yuletide ride, this December he's grumpier than ever about the holidays. But the closer I get to Bentley, and the more it looks like Jason and his ex are getting back together, the more unsure I am about who I want to ring in the new year with. Maybe all I need is the magic of a mistletoe kiss to make up my mind. Or better yet, a Christmas miracle. The third book I have for you is called The Christmas Clash by Suzanne Park. Who's naughty and nice at Riverwood Mall? In this hilarious YA holiday rom-com, two rivals get together to save their family's livelihoods, and Christmas too. Chloe Kwan can't stand Peter Lee. It's always been that way. Their families don't get along either. Their parents operate rival restaurants in the Riverwood Mall food court. Korean food for the Kwans and Chinese food for the Lees. Now it's the holiday season, and Chloe's the cartographer at the mall's Santa's Village, and Peter works at the virtual reality North Pole Experience right across the atrium. It's all Chloe can do to avoid Peter's smug, incredibly photogenic face. But it turns out the mall is about to be sold to a developer and demolished for condos. Eviction notices are being handed out right before Christmas. Their parents don't know what to do, and soon Chloe and Peter realize that the two of them need to join efforts to try to save the mall. Just when it seems like they can put aside their differences and work closely, very closely, together, they discover that the Kwan and Lee feud goes far deeper than either of them realize. And the last book I have for you is called The Trouble with Christmas by Robin Daniels. Chrissy Jensen lives in a town full of Christmas fanatics. Too bad she hates everything about the holiday. Aside from her justifiable grievances, the endless barrage of displays and events is enough to make any girl gag. Nothing has ever been able to thaw her frozen Yuletide heart. But when her brother brings a handsome friend home for the holiday, she starts to reconsider her contemptuous attitude. The deliciously yummy houseguest loves Christmas. Pretending to share his sentiment couldn't hurt, right? Wrong. The sudden personality transplant doesn't sit well with her best friend Nate. He perpetuates the deception in order to get even, which causes an agonizing dilemma. Now, Chrissy must keep up the charade with a cheerful disposition, or risk being caught in her lie.
Okay, that's all for me this week. I'll see you next week on The Indie Connection. Bye.